So I hope and trust the Give and Get sessions were helpful. There's a lot of good energy and lots in all the rooms. So I hope you found it useful. I got to say, we asked you to share your culture hacks with us, and we are holding in our hands pure, unadulterated gold. No, they're just sort of awesome ideas. We want to share some of the highlights with you. One thing sort of from the My Bad files, we didn't say explicitly sign your name here, so we may be emailing you just because we want to collect all of them and share them with you. So we're going to be reaching out to email, even though email is a problem. So I just need you to indulge. So we just want to share some of the highlights. And again, there's just so much to choose from. So some of them that stuck out to us. Do you want to?
Sure, absolutely. And before we jump in, let me just ask for just show of hands, because this is the first year we did this Give and Get session. Was it useful? Did you guys enjoy it? Was it a good time?
Oh, that's great.
That's great to hear. Because last year we did some breakouts, and some of them were good, and some of them were less good. But it's good to hear that this was great. We try and make this very responsive to what you actually find is useful. So we'll jump in.
Can I just chime in one thing? And I did feel guilty a little bit because I felt like you guys wanted to keep talking, and I was like the bad guy saying we got to move. So we are going to rebrand them Give and Get and Drink. Okay? Which you can do after we finish up and out on the ocean lawn. So feel free to continue the conversations, because again, it's sort of like getting a free, board of advisors, and all of you are so thoughtful about this stuff. So.
Absolutely. Okay, so we'll just dive in. So one of the culture hacks that we got is, in group interactions, make everyone match the technology of the lowest member. So for instance, if one person has to dial in, then everyone has to dial in. So as to create a little bit of peer pressure, I imagine, that maybe you don't dial in, you maybe try to show up. Right. But at the same time, everyone's on the same plane. Right.
Did you get a name on that one?
I didn't.
It's anonymous. Just raise your hand if this...
Hey!
Just shout out your name.
Nice job.
I got the most wrongs,
I think. All right. Oh, that's great. So I want to share this from Ben Chestnut of MailChimp. He said, my co-founder and I created a founders chat room where we can show our thoughts and opinions so employees can learn more about us and how we think about company issues. Chat rooms make it very casual and human, which I think is a great idea, because people are always like wondering what the bosses are up to, right? Especially when there's a relationship. And if they see people in a meeting, it's like, what are they talking about? And they always sort of assume all these things. So I think that's a great idea. Where's Ben?
Nice job.
Yeah.
This one is from Deanie Hiles from Radius Logistics. I'm hopefully pronouncing it correctly? Excellent, excellent. So this one says, to get people to walk a mile in someone else's shoes, employees at every level do another person's job or job shadow on a regular basis, which I think is a great idea, because it sort of removes all of these lingering wonders you have, like, why is that person actually getting paid? I don't understand what they do every day. And it's enormously valuable.
Right. Oh, that's great. Shanti Atkins from Navex Global says, distribute company-branded thank you notes, and you can include a small gift card to all managers. Encourage them to send written thank you notes for specific accomplishments and or notable gestures, decision-making on a regular basis. Nobody sends thank you notes anymore, so true, but they seem to be universally appreciated and tend to have a high authenticity factor. And I think that's a great idea. I mean, it's amazing. I sometimes walk around cubicles and people like pin notes, that they got like 10 years ago, right? It is amazing, and it's especially true in this day and age where everything's by email. Just the handwritten thank you note, it really is gold.
This one is from Bill Carter from Fuse. And they have a Fuse fund, which is an internal fund that supports an employee's startup. So the company's only criteria is that it has to be peripherally connected to our core business so that the company can provide expertise. They provide cash, additional staff, time, and other resources. And the reason why it's important is that this hack supports our culture because it demonstrates support of staff as individuals and has actually resulted in real business opportunities. It's a great idea.
That's great. Paul Venables, at his company, he has an old timers tab. So we give a $1,000 budget for everyone who has survived the place for 5 years. This budget is a tab at a local watering hole so they can take newbies out and share and nourish the culture. Vets to rookies. It's a great idea.
So this one is not signed, but whoever wrote it has to raise their hand, which is dance breakouts during long meetings. Love it. Who is that? Anyone taking? Okay, but we'll watch later. After a couple of drinks, we'll see who's dancing. That's you?
That's great.
Hey!
That's great.
Okay, and we're looking forward to the dancing.
Jim Dillard says, PowerPoint's no longer than 2 slides.
Ooh.
Call your congressman. There ought to be a law.
This is from Renee Cullinan. Am I saying it right? The company stopped meeting like this. They use Basecamp 3, which has the ability to send a regularly scheduled question to the team. So Monday at 9 a.m., every Monday, you get a question that says, what are the 1 to 3 outcomes that define victory for you this week? And Friday at 9 a.m., another question comes that says, how do you do? What was the most and least energizing thing you did this week? Which is great.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Glenn Elliott says, answer every single Glassdoor review honestly and in detail within 24 hours. Leads to more discourse and discovery and makes room for dissent, right? Because I'm always curious about how all of you deal with those Glassdoor things, because there's always disgruntled people, right? There's always going to be somebody who didn't like something. So good strategy for just jumping on it and having a discussion time.
Eric Larson from Cloverpop wrote, for all managers and executive decisions, weigh in writing what we should do before the meeting with 3 things. What could go right? What could go wrong? And what more do you need to know? So that you have this basis for having the conversation rather than trying to figure out what you're talking about once you're in the room.
That's cool. Aben Kuma of Nyansat does speed dating every other month or quarter during a team happy hour. We play a game where people get to ask someone a question that's not work-related, just to get to know them better.
Christine, the CEO of Colette McVoy, I'm not sure how to say your last name, but it's a very interesting last name. Once a month, we meet with employees over lunch to celebrate their work anniversaries. We ask them to share their favorite moment of the year and the one thing they've changed to make Colette McVoy better. The connection and honesty is inspiring. Yeah,
that's great. This one's anonymous, the Mission Minute. Who sent this in? Yell your name out.
Taylor Foss.
Hi. Okay, hi Taylor. The Mission Minute. Before every meeting, we take 1 minute to get focused. Finish that last email, jot down a thought, take a deep breath, whatever you need to be present for the meeting. Great idea.
This is from Alexandra at The Muse. To reinforce our values, we have a shout-out board in the kitchen where people can call out colleagues for going above and beyond and living our values. We read our 3 favorites at the first all hands of each month, but what I love most about this is going and reading them while making coffee in the morning.
That's great. Really so nice. Last one from me, and then maybe one more from you. Vince DeLuca says we have a once-a-month birthday buzz call with employees celebrating their birthday that month. Simply an open forum to discuss ideas, questions, concerns, just creates tremendous positive feedback, which I love that because it's like, it's my birthday. Like, we're all kids at heart, right? It's like, hey, it's my birthday. So just to create a reason to have that discussion, it just, I think, puts a lot of positive energy into it.
Until you meet the person who says, I can remember all the birthdays, my mundane
exactly.
superpower, but I actually don't care about you. I just remember your birthday. And this is the last one, unsigned, which is brown bag lunches between leaders and a random group of 4 to 5 employees across functions. And most important, the meeting has no predetermined agenda. It's just a chance to meet people that you wouldn't meet otherwise.
Yeah, that's great. So we could keep going, but we want to keep things moving. Thank you for these. We are going to be collecting them. We are going to be emailing you just because we want to make sure we have them all. But thank you for these. So
absolutely.
Thanks.
Thank you so much.
That's great.